So we know different kinds of loops in other programming languages. Okay, so we know three kinds of loops in other programming languages, and those are for loop, while loop, and then do while loop. Okay, so similar to the other programming languages, we have three loops in our programming languages. Those are for loop, okay, while loop, and then we'll call the do while loop here it as a repeat loop. Okay, so let us see one by one. Okay, so first let us see how to traverse the different data structures of our programming. First, let us see the syntax of a for loop. Okay, so we know the syntax of for loop in other programming languages. Now let us see the syntax of for loop in our programming language. Okay, to write a for loop, first we will write a for keyword. Okay, so for keyword, after that we will write open parenthesis, and then after that we will write a variable here. Okay, so you can I have written it as value here. Okay, so variable or value in. Okay, so you can traverse, you can use this for loop. Okay, so by using you can use this for loop to traverse a data structures that are available in our programming. Okay, so you can create the data structure over here, or you can pass, okay, you can pass the data structure name, okay, as a variable in the for loop. Okay, so after writing this, okay, we will write after closing this open parenthesis, we will write the set of the statements in the open and closed curly braces. That is going to be the body of the loop. Okay, so this is the syntax of the for loop. Okay. Okay, so assume that here we have a vector. So let the vector elements are 10, 20, 30, 40 as well as 50. Okay, so suppose if we want to find out the sum value for the given elements in the list. Okay, so let us do it by using a for loop. Okay, so for that I have taken a variable that is sum. Okay, so sum is nothing but variable, and initially it is initialized it as 0. And let us take a for loop. Okay, so I am going to take the for loop like this. So for, okay, so the value in, for the value in, at each and every time I am going to take the value from the vector x. Okay, so for value in x, and then so let us take let us take one value, okay, for one iteration, and let us add that value, okay, so with the sum value. Okay, so that is sum is equal to sum plus value. After this, close that. Okay, so after that, close that for loop. Okay, so if you want to, so close that, and if you want to see, okay, so if you want to see the sum value, then we will take print of sum. Okay, so this is nothing but, okay, so counting the given number of the vector elements by using a for loop. Okay, so now let us see how to traverse the elements of a list. Okay, so by using a for loop. Okay, so let us create a list. Okay, so let us take a list. So let the list name is y. So y is equal to list of, okay, so I am going to have two elements. Okay, so first let us see how to traverse the different data structures of our programming. So like a vector, okay, a list, and then a matrix by using for loop. Okay, so first let us see the for loop. We have already seen the for loop syntax. Okay, so first let us see how to traverse, okay, a vector by using a for loop. First, for that, let us create a vector. Okay, so let us create a vector. So let the vector name is x, and let us create the vector elements like this. Okay, so 10, 20, 30, 40, other one is 50. And then if you want to traverse the list of the vector elements, okay, so by using a for loop we can traverse like this. So for value in, okay, so for, you have to write a for keyword, after that you have to write a parenthesis, after that you have to write a variable or value, whatever it may be. Okay, so value in, okay, so value in x. Okay, so this, okay, so at each and every time you will take the value from the x. Okay, so I will repeat this loop until all the elements of the vector, okay, so traversed. So for value in x, after that you have to, okay, so open the parenthesis, and then if you want to print the elements of it, okay, so print of, okay, so each and every time, okay, so this value is going to be take the values from the vector x. So okay, so for each and every iteration, so the values will be stored in the value. Okay, so we have to print this value vector, value variable. Okay, so now let us close this for loop, and when you close the for loop, okay, you will be able to see the elements of the vector. Okay, so like this we will traverse the elements of a vector. Okay, so now let us see how to do the sum value. Okay, so how to do the summation for the given vector. Okay, so let us take the x. Okay, so already we have x here, and if you want to do the summation, okay, so for that if you want to do the summation for the elements, okay, so I am taking a variable that is sum equal to 0 initially, and I am going to traverse the elements, okay, so one by one, so for value in x, okay, and then so let us take. And now let us see other loop in our programming languages. We have seen so far how to write the for loop. Okay, so now let us see how to work with the while loop. Okay, so this is the statement. Okay, so this is the syntax for while loop in our programming language. Okay, so while off, we have to write the keyboard while, and then within the open parenthesis we have to write the condition. Okay, so after that you have to write the open curly brace and then closed curly braces. Within this open and closed curly braces we will write the set of the statements. Okay, now let us see how to work with the while loop. Okay, so in our programming language in the R console. Okay, so now let us see how to perform, okay, how to find the sum of even numbers from a given list, that is 1 to 10, okay, by using a while loop. Okay, so for counting even numbers, let us take the variable, so let the variable name is count. Okay, so I am taking the variable like this, so count is equal to 0, so initially count is equal to 0, and let us traverse from 1 to 10, so I am taking a variable I. Okay, so by using this I can traverse the elements from 1 to 10, so I less than or equal to 10. I have to give the condition here, so I less than or equal to 10. After that, okay, so at each and every time I will traverse. Okay, so if I mod 2, okay, so I mod 2 is equal to 0. Okay, so if I mod 2 is equal to 0, then at that case I will count. I will assume that the given number is even number, so at that case I will count the, okay, so even numbers, count equal to count plus 1, and then close this. Okay, so if, okay, and then after this let us close. Okay, so let us increment the value of I now, so that is I is equal to I plus 1. Okay, after that let us close the 1. And to know the count of even numbers, let us print the count value. So print of count. Okay, so you know, okay, so starting with 1, okay, so 1 is not even number, so 1 will not get print. Okay, so when you have a numbers like this 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and then 10. Okay, so it starts with 1 is not even number, so count will be 0. So when it is 2, okay, so this is an even number, so it is counting, and then 3 will not count, 4 will get count, 6 will get count, 8 will get count, and then 10 will get count. So totally we have a 5 even numbers in this given 1 to 10 numbers, so that's why its count is 5. Okay, so like this you will work with the while loop. And now let us see how to work with the, okay, so repeat loop. And now let us see how to work with the repeat loop in our programming language. Okay, so now let us count the sum of numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, so let us perform, okay, so the sum of numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, so for that let us take sum equal to 0. Okay, so for counting the sum, and then I will traverse, okay, so by using a variable that is called as I. Okay, so let us declare I equal to 1, and then let us write the repeat. Okay, so as I said, so do while loop is called as a repeat loop in our programming language, so we have to take a repeat keyword. After this we have to give the open parenthesis, and then for sum, okay, so for performing the sum value for each and every iteration, let us take sum equal to sum plus I, and then so after counting the sum you have to increment your I, so I is equal to I plus 1. Okay, so if this sum is, okay, so I want to count up to 10 numbers, so I have to take I greater than 10. I will check whether I is greater than 10 or not. Okay, so once the I reaches greater than 10, I have to, okay, so get out of the loop. So for that I have used break. Okay, so let us close this. Okay, and then let us print our sum. Okay, so print of sum. Okay, for printing the sum value, we have to take the print of sum. Okay, we know the sum of numbers from 1 to 10 is 55, so it has printed its answer as 55. Okay, so like this you will work the repeat loop using like this you will use repeat loop in R programming language. Okay, so thank you.